Okay, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about perpendicular bisectors. So you will need your compass, straight edge, and pencil for this. And let's start our talk here, our work actually, by looking at some definitions. Perpendicular lines. Okay, so obviously you need two. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect to form right angles. And as we drill down and talk about perpendicular bisectors, a perpendicular bisector of a segment is a line, segment, or ray that is perpendicular to the segment at its midpoint. Okay, so we're going to do some constructions, and we're going to construct a perpendicular bisector. Well, let's see how we go about doing that. I'm going to take the definitions away here, so if you don't have them yet, you can pause the video. Alright, so let's start out by having a line segment. A line segment, because we need something that we can find the midpoint of. So I'm just going to draw one out. And I'm going to give this line segment some labels, and we're going to label it HJ. So we have line segment HJ, and we're going to find the midpoint, and we're going to do a bisector. So what we want to do is we want to put our compass on either point H or point J. It doesn't really matter. But when we the trick to this is you have to open your compass at least halfway, or else it will not work. So I'm going to open it up at least maybe that far, alright? And I'm going to put it on point H carefully, and then I'm going to draw an arc up here. And my idea is that I'm going to eventually make an X up there. So I don't really need the whole thing. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to draw another arc. Now, without moving the compass at all, I'm just going to take it up, hold it by the leg, and put it on point J. Alright, and then I'm going to draw to make X marks the spot, okay? At the top, and then also at the bottom. Oops. Kind of slipped. My compass slipped from the point J as I was drawing it, so you have to be careful. Okay. There we go. Now I got it better. Now, so basically what I've done is I've made X marks the spot twice, and I'm going to line up my ruler along the two X's so I can come up with this bisector. And if I do it carefully, let me turn this light off for a minute. My eyes aren't as young as they used to be. So, okay, so now I can draw in my bisector here. Now, this bisector, it can be a perpendicular bisector. It can be a line. Alright, so if I make it a line, I'll just put my arrows in like that. It can be a segment. If it's a segment, I can put in dots, right? I could put in my dots here and here. If it's a ray, I would just start from the middle and draw it up. I wouldn't have the bottom part. Or I could start in the middle and draw it down, and I wouldn't have the top part. That would be a ray. Okay, let's put some labels in here. We're going to call the dot in the middle here, we're going to call that M. For good reason. We'll explain in a minute. Up here, let's go ahead and call this K, point K. And then down here, we're going to call it L. So, what we find out now is that M, point M, is the midpoint of segment HJ. And then we're going to find out that line, because we drew a line KL. So we'll signify that by our arrows. Line KL is the perpendicular bisector of segment HJ. So there you have segment. You have perpendicular bisectors, perpendicular bisector of a segment, and I hope you have a lot of fun with that. That's some pretty nice constructions, and we thank you for watching. We'll look forward to seeing you on the next go around. All right.